and welcome to the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast, Season 2, with your host, Byron Rodgers. This podcast is dedicated to the executive protection practitioner, the private security professional. In this podcast, we're going to talk about the mental, emotional, psychological, physiological fitness that goes into being an efficient and effective executive protection agent. Whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're a mom that's looking at how to protect her children, or a father that's focused on how to protect his family, I believe this podcast has something for all of you. We might even get into some tales from the crypts of true Hollywood stories from time to time. I'm doing this podcast because I feel the reality of this job is simple. If you really want to be good at executive protection, it's more than just a job. It really is a lifestyle. And those of you who've been in the game for any serious amount of time, you already know what I'm saying is true. So if that sounds interesting to you, enjoy the show. Out.
Boom! What's going on, y'all? Byron Rodgers here one more time. We're going to do it a lot of times, but with another episode of the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast. As always, I'm excited. As always, I've got a guest I'm really excited to bring to you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. This is how we get down. I got the one and only Jesse Jauregui, who's joining me on the show. How you doing, brother?
All right. For the famous man. I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good.
Good. It's good to be here with you, man. It's an honor. One thing I'll say about Jesse is he's new to the EP game, as far as I understand.
Wow. Yeah.
But he's been gaining a lot more notoriety. I genuinely believe, in my opinion, what I'm noticing is he's got a stinking positive attitude. The guy has so much positive energy. He's like a light, and it's like one of, I think it was Plato or Aristotle, or one of the guys that I listened to, one of the ancient philosophers said something about there's nothing more beautiful than to see, a man struggling against reality, a good man struggling against reality. And that hits home with me. And I try to be that good man struggling against reality. And when I met Jesse at the Close Protection Conference a year or two ago, I saw that. And that for me is like instant love. I'm like, boom, this guy is doing the best he can with what he has. He's not making excuses. And by the grace of God, the harder you work, the luckier you get. So yeah, man, that's the intro, brother. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you, Brian. Byron, I'm glad I'm here, man. It's an honor to be here. It's been a wonderful journey. It's funny how you quoted philosophy. It's like Descartes quoted, "I am that I am," because when I met you in 2018, it's a journey that I didn't know what EP was, man. I was nervous. I don't know what I was going into, man. And
yeah,
I was listening to EP. I don't know what it was. And when I started listening to it, I didn't know what I was getting into.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I went in there with just an open mind, man. I was scared because I didn't know what I was getting into, man. I was scared because I didn't think I was going to succeed, but I was scared. I didn't think I was going to succeed, but you know what? I went in there because I had heart. I started listening to personal motivation videos, man.
Yeah.
I started listening to personal motivation videos, and that's what motivated me. Personal motivation videos on YouTube, cool. Man. YouTube is what changed me.
Yeah.
That personal motivation videos would change my life.
That's awesome.
And then that from there just was what got me here.
Man, that's so beautiful. You were scared, but you did it anyway. That motivates me. It's like wisdom is so simple, but it ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? So I sit here and I look out at life, and if you can just do that one thing in life, you're gonna do better than everybody else. Like this message for everybody. It's like, man, I even at my place, in my level and where I'm at in life, I know I'm wrong if I'm not doing something I'm a little bit scared about. You know what I'm saying? So for me right now, I'm like going to find these dragons and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's do this. And I'm like, woo, it's going to take some balls. You know? But you know what? Hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get after it. And we'll see how far I get before they kill me, you know? And that's the game, you know? And I love that about you, man.
Thank
that
you,
means
man.
the world, brother. That's most important. And on those motivational videos, that's huge. I don't even want to get, I can go into a rabbit hole on that easily, but.
Yeah, I hear you.
So yeah, brother. On my YouTube channel, I have like 500, a list of 500. If you guys scroll down to Moto Vids, there's like a list of over 500 videos I've been compiling for the last probably 7 years. Put that on repeat. That is the key to the consistency and the resilience and to how I've built the mindset that I have. Just so y'all know.
I still listen to it today. It's one of my morning rituals. You got to have a ritual. Every morning you got to have a ritual. If you don't have a ritual, you're not focused.
Love it. No, that's the truth. Yeah, you're failing. So who are you at your core, Jesse?
Who am I at my core? I'm a person that has a vision, that has clarity, that a person that knows where I'm going, that has an endless journey. If I meet my goal, I set another goal. My door closes, I open another one. I'm so determined that I have an endless journey. I like to help others while I'm helping myself. I find myself in a endless journey that I never found myself in. I'm a person that I thought that was a person that I didn't find myself as a giving person with a good heart. I didn't know myself before this journey. EP has made me a better person than I wasn't before. There's a saying that when millionaires, that they say when they give you money, it makes you a good person and a bad person. Well, EP has made me a good person.
Outstanding.
Because it had made me help other people. EP has recognized me in a good way. A lot of people have been reaching out to me. All the new practitioners have been reaching out to me. They've been reaching out to me on LinkedIn. I've been reaching out to them, been calling them and helping me out. And I've been reaching out and letting them know what I know. And I'm not shutting myself out to them. I'm helping them out. So I don't keep myself as a refrigerator. So I open myself up to them.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. How has EP helped you become a better person?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's that double psychology major, man. I have to
wow.
I gotta dig, man. That's what we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? The beauty, you just gotta ride the genuineness. That's all it is.
Philosophy.
And that's it. That's very interesting, man.
You know what? It's made me not become lazy. I used to be I can't cuss here, but
hey, well, you can do whatever you want.
No. I used to be the biggest procrastinator. I used to be the fattest person you could meet, I guess. I wasn't organized. I wasn't detailed. I was a procrastinator. I didn't care about my physical health. I didn't care about my social media. I was shy. I didn't know about social marketing. I didn't care about branding. I didn't care about friends. I didn't care about who I hanged around with. I didn't care about drinking. I didn't care about smoking. I didn't care about this and that. EP took all that away.
That's what's up. Good.
360. Now I hit the treadmill. Now I love the treadmill. Now I work out. Now I don't smoke. Now I don't drink. Now all my bad friends are gone. Wow. The road to success is lonely.
Yes, it is.
Put it to you this way. All my friends are gone before EP. Now I have good friends, professional friends.
Outstanding.
Napoleon Hill said, surround yourself with the mastermind. And that's what I have done.
Yeah. Yeah.
EP has done wonders for me. Just the other day, I posted something on Facebook with my watch. I was running the treadmill at 5:15 in the morning.
My man.
I've never done that before. But I've done it. I do it now.
Yeah.
Because EP is a lifestyle, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing now. I've never done it before, man. I used to be lazy, Byron. I used to be lazy, man. My daughter is proud of me because she don't expect that. But I'm proud of myself. But that's what EP, this is a lifestyle. It's not just about the money. I don't do this for the money, guys. I don't do this for the money. I didn't come in here looking for the money. If you're doing this for the money, guys, you're doing it for the wrong motivation. I don't do it for the money.
To make that. You know what I mean? Like
it'll come later. It'll come later.
Yeah, come later, exactly. And that what you're saying is 100%. If you're going to be good at executive protection, it takes a lifestyle. It's all your habits before and after your work that really make you a good agent, good operator. But the other thing I think is beautiful, and this is why I love this. This is why I don't want to toot my own horn, but I love my podcast because we talk about things that matter to the human being, not so much just private security. And what I hear you saying is purpose adds boundaries, and purpose is a motivating thing. You found a centralizing purpose that then caused you to evolve out of the chaos and then, achieve order in your life, which is, boom, you got a job with Pinkerton, which is a huge private security company doing executive protection.
Yes,
and you did it in a short amount of time.
Man.
By the grace of God. And this is why to finish that intro, Jesse's risen to an awesome place in the industry very quickly. And so I want to study that and I want to understand this man because I get messages every single week.
Really?
Oh yeah, like how do I get into the game? And I'm like, well, I've got a couple podcast episodes on it, and I have the training day product, the executive protection training day product. I'm talking about it. One of the things you mentioned that's really interesting too is branding, marketing, digital marketing.
Huge.
Speak about it. And what are kind of your approach overall? Don't give us the whole all the magic. But overall, like, what's your kind of approach? Is it that important? Why or why not? Yeah, I mean, touch on that for a minute if you don't mind.
Okay, first, coming into the industry, branding is huge. First and foremost is because when you're coming into the industry as a new practitioner, you have to brand yourself very carefully because you got to know, nobody knows you in the industry. Nobody knows who you are. So you got to market yourself very carefully because those around you, those being around you, you got to know those that are going to be around you. Depends on, how can I say this? In myself, I was more of a person that was more isolated. I was careful of who I put myself with and put myself out there because when you take a picture with somebody, you can leave a digital footprint. And that picture, when you're drinking a beer with that person, is going to be posted on social media. They're holding a cigarette or
whatever.
I can't say the word. And 2 years later, you're going to go get an interview with the client. They're reviewing your social media. You're about to get the job, and there's that picture.
And you look like an idiot. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. So as a new practitioner, you got to be careful. So review your social media. Make sure those that you associate with, be careful because it's your brand. For myself, I was very careful with my social media. The good thing for me, I never used social media even before I knew about social media. So it was good. So I never did social media before I knew what social media was. So I was very a private person before coming into EP. So it benefited me. So the universe was for me and it was helping me in this industry. So everything worked out for me for a good way. So I was great. I was very lucky in a way. But for those that have been using social media, be very careful. With that said, step 2, once you come in the industry, start building social media. Start building your brand. Start networking. LinkedIn is huge. Build your brand with LinkedIn. build your brand. Facebook is also, you could use that also as a positive. Facebook. Instagram is huge also. Network conferencing, IPC. You know, your brand is also podcast is also good. Your podcast is also great.
Awesome. Was there one place where you got a lot of guidance on how to brand yourself digitally that you could give to the listeners?
Oh, come on, Byron, your podcast. Come on. Why are you asking me that question, Byron? Come on, man.
I'm trying to help people here.
Your podcast. Every single episode that I listen to your podcast from day one. I remember the first podcast I listened to. I remember I was in my apartment packing my suitcases because I was selected to attend the AS Solution Academy 10-day academy for their first class for their EP Academy. I was one of the selected few to get their free training 10-day academy for their first executive protection training in 2018 with Ira Turret and Max Siegel. Great trainers, man.
Yeah.
My respects to these gentlemen. And I'm very fortunate to earn their respect out of their academy. And I sat down and I was Googling, podcast, Byron Rodgers. And with due respect, Byron, who's Byron Rodgers?
That's what's up.
And then it goes right there and put Byron. And then you started talking about, treating everybody nice and then about advances. And I'm like, wait, this sounds interesting. And then from there to now, here I am. And you started talking about advances. You started talking about courtesy. You started talking about soft skills. And then when you started talking about soft skills, I'm like, wait a minute. I have that. I have 10 years of management soft skills under my belt. Because I come from a background of the civilian sector. I come from a logistical management, customer service background, security customer service background. And when you started talking about that, I'm like, okay, I could do this.
Easy. I can do that, yeah.
I don't have the hard skills, but wait a minute, I could learn the hard skills.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, cool. And then I could learn everything else. And then wait a minute, I'm going to go attend AS Solutions Academy. Right on. So then all I got to do is put the work in.
Yeah.
I started putting the work in. And then that's when I started putting the work in. I had to lose the weight. And then every single podcast I started doing it. And the podcast that touched me was a podcast with Aaron Molden.
Yeah.
The LinkedIn podcast did it for me.
That's what's up, man.
Aaron Molden and you were huge. You guys said, if you don't know tech, hire somebody. And
figure it out, man.
And I did. I hired somebody. Reinvented on my LinkedIn.
Boom.
And you know what, Byron?
A
month later, I got vetted with Pinkerton. And that's what hired me. My LinkedIn hired me through Pinkerton. Look at that.
Boom.
Boom.
That's what's up, man. That's gold. That's beautiful. Information can change the situation. Information is power. Action and information. That marriage is power.
And that's why when I saw you at the shooting range, that's why I bear hugged you and I picked you up, brother, this past year because I owed you one, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That to me, this is the most motivating thing in the world to hear.
You guys have changed my life a lot, Byron. You have changed my life a lot. Your wisdom, your knowledge, your knowledge that you have just put out. You changed my life personally because I've come from my life. I've changed 360.
Yes,
360. And for those that are out there saying that, I can't succeed in this industry. No, yes, you can. Just listen and put the work. You have to work for those that are coming from the civilian, you're gonna have to work harder.
Yeah.
And that are coming from the military and from law enforcement. You have to work harder, but you can accomplish it. Just
100%. No, that's good stuff, man. That's gold. That's gold what you just gave them, man. I hope they're paying attention. So what drew you to executive protection in the first place?
In 2018, I was at a crossroads.
Okay.
2018, I was at a crossroads, and I was let go from my employer, and I was at a crossroads at 39 years old, and my daughter asked me, Dad, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? And you're at that crossroads now at your life, and you need to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life.
Yeah.
What do you love to do? Well, I love to protect people, because I used to be a bouncer for a nightclub, and people used to pay me to take them to their cars, to the bathroom. Even people used to hire me to take them to restaurants, and they would always tell me, man, you're good at what you do. And they would pay me $200 here, and I would always love to do that. And I would always provide that concierge security, and people would love my service.
That's what's up.
I'm like, man, why would I do this professionally? So my daughter would tell me, man, why don't you do that professionally? So, okay. So I'm like, what would I do? So I figured, all right, what do I need to be a security guard? Get your guard card. Okay. I got my guard card. Okay, man, what's the next step? Get your exposed firearm card. Okay, I got my exposed. What's the next step? Okay. You need to be a bodyguard. What do you need to be a bodyguard? Okay, so I started reading. Okay, all right. What do you need? Okay, you need to be fit. Oh man, I got to start losing weight.
That's
man.
Really?
Yeah. So I started investing, and then I started Googling. I Googled, seminars. Then I started listening to YouTube videos. Then I heard, who did I hear? Teenage X about attending seminars and all that. That's when I Googled a close protection conference in America. That's when I attended CPC 2018.
Outstanding.
And I invested in the conference. I was unemployed. I was unemployed. I was getting unemployment. I had to rent my room out. I had to rent rented my room out to my friend's roommate to make money. With that roommate, I paid my plane ticket, $600. I flew to Florida to attend Joe LaSource's medical training course. To get my triple CC training. I protected medical training course with him. And then I flew back and I went to work with my friend. So I was doing all my training, my education while I was unemployed. And then I attended the Close Protection Conference while I was making money on the side. You know, I was washing cars while I was unemployed and all that stuff. So I was doing my journey while I was doing all this unemployed. So in other words, my message to everybody, don't let your circumstances, your financial circumstances from accomplishing your dream, because your failures cannot stop you from achieving your dreams. Because when I was going through hard times while achieving my dream, I didn't let that stop.
Yeah.
Because I knew EP was my dream. EP was my dream. And I didn't let that stop. And that was my motivation. So even though I was unemployed, but I only had $100 here, you know, I was on food stamps. I was on welfare. I was on food stamps. And, you know, I'm not embarrassed to say it. But you know what? Now I'm not. Now I'm successful. And, you know, and I guess I'm kind of teary-eyed right now, but I'm just successful, bro, because it cost me a lot to get there, but EP is everything to me. But I suffered, but I made it. I made the sacrifice to get where I'm at, you know?
Yeah.
And EP is everything to me, but I challenged myself. I didn't give up. I did every day. I got up every morning to get where I'm at. Yes. And if you want it bad enough, you'll get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And
it is what it is. But don't give up.
Yeah. And no, I love that, man. And it touches me because I understand. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in the ring doing the same type of thing, just in another place.
Right.
And people want something for nothing these days. And they don't understand, man, that it's as simple as if you want it, fight for it. And then you become the thing, and then you can have the thing, and then you can manage and maintain the thing. Like if you got this position without the training and the fighting and the sacrifices, and without all the things that made you really want it and value it, you wouldn't really want it and value it. You know what I mean? And you hear your parents saying this from the time you're young, but like, the journey, makes the victory so much sweeter, man. So and you have a big heart. That's the other thing, man. I love that about you. Is you have this
Thank you.
monstrous heart, and it's
Thank you.
Beautiful, and it's strong, and it's masculine, and that's the type of energy that makes our world a better place. So I'm so happy that you found yourself in a place where you can really leverage that and do things that feed that, and you can in turn really feed your demographic and your clients and that positivity, man. So that's good, man. I'm so proud of you, brother.
Thank you, Byron.
I know about that. I know about news, and I know about eating ramen noodles and
man.
Computer, and the only thing I could do is go to the gym because it's the only thing I can afford, and then just get behind my computer and try to write code and try to figure out how to build a brand and suck at it and get banned from Facebook. I get it. My wife was just I know this man's gonna be okay, but this is bleak, and I'm just sitting there chasing the page and trying to make things happen. I get it, man. So that touches me, and that, affection is reserved for peers. So when you see somebody, you look in their eyes and they, like that movie 12 Strong, where the general looks at all the boys and he's like, killer eyes. And he's like, you ain't got killer eyes. When you see someone knows that struggle, it's meaningful, man, especially if you've been there. So heck yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, man, what would you say, tactical background, we're still building that. What would you say? So now you've gone through the beginning phase of your journey, all right? And you fought yourself to a clearing. You fought yourself out of a valley into a mountaintop, right? Now we know this cycle is going to repeat itself inevitably. But what would you say, what's your experience with Pinkerton been like?
Pinkerton's been wonderful. Working with Pinkerton has been a great experience. I've been with them now going on 6 months now. They've been great. They've been very supportive. It's been nothing but wonderful with them. They're very supportive. They've been supportive with their training. Recently, when I went to Miami with training with La Sorsa, they've been very supportive with their training.
They sent you to go get training?
They paid me for the days when I went with La Sorsa's training.
Wow, okay.
In November. So they're very supportive. If I need anything, just reach out. They're supportive. They have great insight information for agents. They have in-house information brochures and stuff like that. They're great. They're wonderful. They're huge in insight information. They're a wonderful company. I don't have nothing but wonderful things to say about them.
Awesome. Okay, good, man. So now that you're doing the work, you're doing the executive protection, is it anything like you thought it was from the outside looking in?
No.
My man.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's what's up. So how? Explain to me the contrast.
It's not about using your gun or bang, bang, boom, boom, bang, bang, boom, or throwing grenades or jumping out of a car or through a windshield or reverse at 85 miles per hour. You do need them, okay? You do need them, yes. No. I guess what I'm using more is my smile. I'm opening more doors than anything. I'm hi, thank you. Basically I'm more just saying, greeting. I'm just more using more of my mouth 99.9% of the time, my smile more than anything.
Yeah.
Speak when you're speaking to, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Make sure you get that one. You know what I'm saying? Never say more than is asked or more than you need. I've watched a lot of guys fall on their sword by running out, trying to be that guy, give more information, and be too shiny. And then, it's like a ball of yarn. You start the questions and then they start pulling on this little string. And next thing you know, you're in a world of hurt, or something you said last week come back to bite you next month when the world changes.
Right. And you do have to treat everybody with respect, from the CEO to the janitor. I work corporate security, So we have to treat the CEO where I work at to the janitor where I work at. Everybody. Yeah. So that means if the janitor comes out of the building, I will open the door for the janitor.
Yeah.
You know, the CEO comes out, I will open the door for the CEO. You know, it doesn't matter. You treat I will say hi to the CEO. I will say hi to the EA. You know, it doesn't matter. You treat everybody with respect.
100%.
You know, because I'm representing Pinkerton, but I'm representing the client.
Right.
And I'm representing myself.
Amen.
And here I go with that. Because when I got interviewed for that job, and here I go again with when I got interviewed for that job, it's when they asked me in the interview, Jesse, what would you do for us if we bring you on board? Well, here's what I'll do for you. If you bring me on board, I represent 3 brands.
Get them.
Your brand?
Yes, sir.
My brand and the company's brand.
Exactly.
You know? So it's about brand representation, and all it is, it's service facilitation. That's it. This has been done for centuries. It's done. It's just with a security mindset, and it's not what I expected, basically. But I guess what has made it so easy for me has been my management and my customer service experience that I have done already in the past in the civilian sector. So for people that are coming from the civilian industry, they do have a success factor, big time. But you do have to put the work in hard.
Yes.
Because they will scoot your social media. Big time.
Yeah.
Because corporate clients are corporate clients.
Yeah, man. They care about perception and image.
A lot.
A whole lot.
A lot.
Money. There's money on the table.
There's money on the table.
You know.
They're there to make money. And they look at you as a dollar sign.
Yeah. And never forget that.
Never forget that.
You know.
You're a dollar sign and you could be replaced.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
Absolutely. You know, people start thinking that they're, you know, friends and that they have this relationship that supersedes the professional relationship. That's when agents get bit.
Don't mix it.
Time and time again. Play your part. Do a good job at it. Collect your paycheck. Have a fruitful, prosperous, professional relationship.
Oh, and let me mention something. If they offer you something to eat, accept it, but don't eat it.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Don't eat it.
Don't eat it. Just
take your own lunch.
Take your I dig it, man. Always pack your own lunch. We're bringing a little Robert Greene in there, man. A little 48 Laws of Power. That's another good book, y'all.
I already read it. I actually got it right here, man.
Oh, man. That's what's up. Always learning. I love that. Geez, now you said a lot of good things in there, my brother. That's good. What, in your opinion, is probably the most important thing for someone who's new and getting into the industry to keep in mind as they're looking to get in this game?
Physical fitness.
Yes. That's what's up. Okay.
Physical fitness. Your entourage. Education. Mm-hmm. Which is, by education, I mean knowledge in EP. No EP. Investing yourself in conferences in EP, close protection in one, your brand, of course, executive protection lifestyle is a must because you have so much knowledge in the brand. Your brand, especially because you have so much knowledge. Your brand, the new brand you just put out there, is so much because the brand that you're offering it's not operating so much that's out there. It's not, I can't find it out there what you have. And I think it's worth it because why? It's not biased and it's free for knowledge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not biased. It's honest. It's honest information. It's not saying, okay, do this and do that. It's honest information. It's like if I was a soldier, it's foot soldier information. It's sweat information. You actually live this information.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And then I have found myself being like, man, I wish I could get this out to the game. You know what I mean? Like, we just barely survived that. Me and my other dude, like how can I get this out to other practitioners, other guys in the game, you know? And like, there's an element where it's like, well, do we want to try to keep the information for ourselves and try to like take over and gain ground? It's like, and then there's the other side of me that was stronger. That's like, no, man, like a rising tide lifts all ships at sea. Man, you want to live abundantly. You got to give, you got to contribute. And in the end, what you'll be remembered for is your contribution.
Yes.
And true on a macro and micro level. At your job, what you'll be remembered for is your contribution, that smile, that positive energy, the way you did your job, you know? And so these are just kind of like life principles that I try to give to the world, man, you know, and that I want to encourage everyone in the industry to try to give to the world. Because before this, I mean, the industry was like, gimme. Everybody was like secretive. When I started putting stuff out, people were like, dude, you're going to get blackballed from the industry. No one's going to want to talk to you because you're sharing.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I think it's an old school mentality. I don't think it's going to last much longer because we're all connected now. I mean, the internet's happening, you know, so that's very interesting. Have you learned any hard lessons out in the field? Like, have you made any mistakes where you're like, ooh, I want to do that again, that you can contribute to, I don't know, the listeners? Or even on your journey, any mistakes you made while you were coming up in the game and trying to make things happen?
Jesus, I think I made a lot.
Oh, yeah. If you were going to say there's one thing that, well, you kind of touched on this, one thing that helped you be successful more than anything else, what would that be? And or what would you say about mindset? What would you say about attitude?
Mindset is everything. Philosophy is everything. Mindset is an endless journey. You always have to be feeding it. You always want to be constantly learning. This is an industry that's always changing every day, every year. The threat to this industry is constantly changing. The threat to this industry is constantly changing.
It's evolving all the time.
Clients every day are getting threats. Every day are constantly changing. You're always changing clients. Clients are changing day to day. You're getting details from day to day. It's endless. And it is your job, your responsibility to the industry to be updated to all current events. If you don't have the time, you find the time. For example, if you get off from your detail at 10 o'clock at night, then you find the time at least 1 hour to read 1 hour before going to bed for the current event of that day. And good. Then you go to bed. And then you wake up at 5. You hit the gym. You eat your breakfast. Before you go to work, you read the current events of that day. And then you hit your detail. During your lunch, you read what's going on during that day's detail. And then you read up. So it's up to the agent to be time management is everything. So the mindset is everything. It's a matter of discipline.
Absolutely.
It's like Tony Robbins says, must. It's a must.
Yeah, you meet your must.
It's a must. Burn the boats.
Burn the boats.
I'm quoting Tony Robbins now. Burn the boats.
Yeah, man. No, you meet your must. There's a lot of people that talk about what they want, but you only get your musts. I look at you, I see your standards. I see your physical standards. I see your intellectual standards when I talk with you. Look at your bank account. I'm going to see your financial standards. I see your standards when I look at your spouse. I see what your standards are. This is the cold, harsh truth. Smart people, who generally a lot of times end up being our principals and clients too, they're looking at these things too. So the way you keep yourself, the way you operate, the way you speak, we're looking at standards. You know what I'm saying? One thing I will caution you against is you've got this Pyrrhic victory. You moved into your position. I know on my journey, and when I talk to a lot of guys in the game, the next thing that will try to happen is complacency will try to slip in, and the pride of life will try to slip in. And this thought of, okay, I'm here. I understand this. And it'll either turn into, I have this completely handled and I don't need to take it that seriously because I know what it is and I have it. Or it'll turn into, I want more. And I'm going to do the best I can with what I have in order to get that promotion or create that new opportunity. It sounds like something that'll never happen to a lot of people, but it is a seductive thing. And it is the danger that is encapsulated in generally any victory any human has. It's, I've created this, I've achieved this. Now, I think I can relax. You know, you're doing the same thing day in, day out, day in, day out. You start taking your clients for granted. You take the environment for granted. You know, I think because you fought so hard to get there, this might not be as much of an issue, but it's something I want to for sure caution you against, brother. You know, when you start feeling things slow down, that's the time to improve your position and push to the next objective.
Got it. And I'm glad you said that, Byron, because the complacency issue is what I have been focusing on at the job, because sometimes I'm at a wall position post. So what I do, you know, I just move. So one step, I just move to the next step. It keeps my blood flow. So if I'm posted on a post, I just move to the next step or the next step. I just keep my blood flow, because then I don't fall asleep. I keep myself posted, but complacency is a killer. And that's my biggest threat. Going back to your question, what's my biggest enemy, or what have I failed at work? I don't think I have failed, but complacency is my biggest enemy. Right. And I find myself sometimes where I get too comfortable at work, where I fight with myself sometimes, but I do win over the complacency. So if I find myself getting lazy, I make myself not be lazy. I work around it. So if I find myself just watching sometimes I do corporate security, so sometimes I'm watching the monitors. So if I find myself just watching the monitors, then what I do is I do my rounds, or I just move around, but I do not, you know what I'm trying to say? I do not make it known that I just become a bubblegum.
Yeah, bubblegum.
I don't become a bubblegum.
I love you. That's so good. Okay? Don't become a bubblegum, y'all.
Exactly. I don't become a bubblegum. Because that's why when I became, I couldn't think of the word. That's why I was like, I couldn't think of it. But now I know I don't become a bubblegum. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't become a bubblegum, because that is a killer, a bubblegum. It could happen in a second.
Literally.
In a second.
Untold thousands of agents that have lost accounts and lost their career in a split second of falling asleep on post. It's just sitting there, just literally sitting there and looking like a bubblegum, doing their job, but the energy is you're complacent. The way you're sitting there, even. It's sitting down when you can be standing. I never sit when I can be standing. Maybe it's a Marine Corps, I don't know. But this whole posture way, it's an energy, it's something you can tell, you see it on a person. That is the enemy, because it's something that can cause you to let people down. Let people who've hired you down, let your loved ones down, because you can't provide. And when you get a blemish like that on your record, it's the death. It's like a death. It is like a.
Yeah, and the way I look at it, it's the perception. Perception is everything. You know, it's like, okay, the client comes down. First thing he looks is you, and let's say you're slouched over. Okay, you're gone. Now Pinkerton looks bad. Okay, what is Pinkerton sending me? Okay, or what is this company sending? Oh, is this the agents this company's hiring? Right. What are they paying? So it's a bigger picture. It's not you. So the agent or the executive agent has to think a bigger picture. It's not just about him.
It's about the team, man.
It's about the team. I'll put it to you this way. I've been with Pinkerton 6 months now, going on 6 months. Now, one time since I got hired, I've talked to my director or my company. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I've been on time since I got hired. I'm always 1 hour early. I haven't called in sick.
Right.
Since I got hired. What does that show you? I love what I do, and I love my client. Interpersonal community. I don't love them personally. I love my client because I love my company, because I love what I do.
Right.
Because I respect my client, and I respect my company, because I know what my responsibility is to my company and my client. So that's what is expected of me, because my company respects my company expects that of me.
Outstanding. No, that's exactly right. You can't let that complacency kills everyone involved. Is there anything you don't like about the security industry?
People talking bad about other people.
Oh man, that's a good one.
People should never talk about another agent. Keep it to yourself. You should never talk about bad about no other people. Not even in public spaces. Keep it to yourself in social media. If you don't like somebody, just keep it to yourself, man. Just don't a professional. If you're a true professional, never talk about another person. Even though if they did you wrong, don't talk bad about them. Keep it.
Why not?
It's not professional.
There it is. Right.
That's it.
That's simple. It's just not professional, man. It makes you look bad. It's a bad energy. It makes you look bad. It makes everyone involved look bad. It's ugly, It's ugly. People may not like that you won't join them in talking bad about other people sometimes. Like some people might be like, okay, he won't join me in that, but they'll respect you. They'll always respect someone who won't talk bad about someone else. That's what's up. What would you say you love most about the industry?
Everybody.
The people.
Everybody's nice.
Good. I'm glad you've had that experience. I think you bring that out in people, man. I think because you're a genuine guy, you got a big heart, and you're positive, deliberately positive, not the frou-frou positive, bullcrap positive. I'm talking about like an actual, I've chosen to be this way, and I'm deliberately doing the best I can. It's a powerful thing when someone's deliberately positive.
Wow.
And I think that inspires others to be the same way very often. That's good.
Well, I'm glad I could inspire other people, and I don't even think I'm doing that. I'm glad I'm doing that without even me knowing I'm doing that. I'm glad I could help other people. I think the biggest gift we could do in human nature is to help other people. That's the biggest gift I think we could do. I think we were brought to this earth to help others. And I think the biggest gift we could do before leaving this earth is to help others. And I think as a mentor, as I'm being mentored by others at the moment, and I think the biggest gift I could do is mentor others, and if I could inspire others to pursue this in this industry, I think that's the biggest gift I could do. And I find that very helpful, because coming from nothing to where I want to go higher is beautiful. Yeah. Because I come from an industry where it was nothing like this to an industry that's very challenging like this one is very humbling that I could help people in my own weird way.
That's beautiful. We share that, man. I agree 100%, man. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out, Father, like, how am I going to contribute to this world? I know I'm a warrior, but how can I impact people positively? I'm so thankful and thank God that I found, private security and protection and an outlet for that warrior energy as I've moved forward into my life. It's such an honor to be able to contribute. Like when I say that, when people say things here online, I'm like, I don't even have words. All I can say is it's an honor to be strong enough to contribute. It's an honor to have enough value to contribute. It's an honor to be able to make people's lives better and serve people. It's priceless, So
it is, man.
It is like it. That's beautiful, man. What would you, on that, you mentioned mentorship. What would you say about mentorship and life and professional journey?
Mentor's beautiful because you get to share your philosophy. Socrates started it a long time ago. Philosophy is beautiful. In this industry, it's very needed. It's something I think the industry lacks it, and it's very needed. And and it's very needed by the elders in this industry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elders in this industry that could mentor more people that are out there that still need to share the wealth and their knowledge. For the mentorees out there, don't be scared to ask. If you see a mentor out there that knows knowledge, ask them. Ask for help. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to ask. I wasn't scared to shake your hand. Don't be scared to ask. And for those mentors, just share your knowledge. For the mentorees, I do have a word of caution. If you ask a mentor for help, don't waste their time. Don't waste your mentor's time. If you're gonna ask a mentor for their wisdom, the greatest gift a mentor could ask of you is them to share the biggest disrespect you could do to a mentor if you're not going to listen to their wisdom. The last thing a mentor could give you is their wisdom, and you not follow their path. And there's a lot of mentors that get disrespected when the mentor doesn't listen to their wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah, humility's priceless, man. No, that's awesome, because honestly, it is frustrating. I call people that ask your advice and then they just don't take it and they come back to you with the same problem. We call them ask holes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna ask so that's beautiful. And this industry is different than any other industry as well, I think. I don't know. I've only had 2 jobs, the Marine Corps and this industry. But I find with executive protection, there are so many pitfalls, which makes mentorship so much more important. It's probably the same with other jobs, but all I know is, like, I wouldn't have survived my first detail if I didn't have guys being like, hey, dude, sit here, do this. Don't ask that question. He hates that. Stand here, dude. You know what I mean? Like, yo, don't eat. Wait till he eats, then eat. You know what I mean? Like, all these little things, like, don't pick up, you walk on the jet and there's like a bunch of stuff out in front of you and you're like, oh, cool. It's like, no. Turn around, get a low silhouette, sit, do this, wait until the plane takes off. You know what I mean? Like, all these little things that help me navigate this world, because you end up on a detail, you're in a whole entire another social ecosystem. There are tripwires, there are predators, there's all kinds of stuff. There's honeypots. There's all these things around you. And if you don't have someone, at least even on your detail, or you don't know how to source and find the information that's going to help you survive and not eat the wrong berries and get poisoned, you just die.
Wow.
You can die really easily. So I find that in our industry, mentorship is very important.
Huge. Huge.
That's helping people navigate, when they get on a detail. And then also, I think one of the other things is showing that you're not trying to take over the detail. You're not trying to be the man, When you're a new guy, be a new guy, and then that'll cause people to be more open to leading you and giving you information to help you survive, So I guess I went off on a tangent there.
No, you're good. And I just want to add something about mentoring. When a mentor takes you up, be grateful to that mentor. Show gratitude. And then to the mentoree, be grateful by showing acknowledgement. Be grateful by showing accomplishment, by achieving. Show the effort, by accomplishment, by showing. If you're going to say something, do it. But don't just say it by words. Action speaks louder than words. If you're going to say, I'm going to apply to a security guard company, apply to a security guard company. I did it. I applied it to 13 security guard companies, and I got hired to 3. And then out of 3 companies, I got hired to Pinkerton.
Yeah.
So do it. If you're going to say something, do it.
Outstanding. Follow through. What are your goals with your private security?
Oh God, I have them. I'm currently attending American Public University. I am going for my AA in business administration. I'm 10 classes away from that. And then I am going for my my bachelor's in business management.
Yes.
Later this year, I'm going to attend John Reed for the Reed Effect because they have behavior analysis or fact analysis and investigative analysis. From there, later on this year, I just submitted my application for the FBI Civilian Academy, so I got that going for me. I'm also very active in InfoGuard, and I'm also putting in my. I just met with ATAP, so I'm going to study for my certificate for threat manager for ATAP. Then I'm going to go put my reserve deputy.
Real quick, explain ATAP for everybody listening.
Associate threat for threat professionals. They're the ones that study a lot of behavioral assessments. It's an association that joins for companies that, for studies people that have behavior analysis for employees that are a threat within the company that might be a threat, risk analysis that, this employee might be a risk when they threaten, how would I say?
Mitigate workplace violence.
Something like that, yeah, workplace violence. So what I want to do is I want to study towards that threat assessment manager. So it's going to be a study before I get that certificate. But I want to study that journey now.
Ultra valuable for corporate security.
Absolutely.
Okay. And what else you got? What else? You said
man. Yeah. So then I want to do one for reserve deputy through the sheriffs. So I want to put in my application there. Then I want to do my cybersecurity through Cisco. I want to do that. And then I want to learn my drone. I want to get my certification through FAA. I want to get my drone certification through FAA.
Wow.
So I got all those goals going for this year. Those are my goals for 2020.
That's for 2020, y'all. My man, by the end of 2020, try to keep up with Jesse. Y'all, try to keep up with Jesse.
Not my bachelor's, I won't get it till like 5 years. But everything else, I'm trying to get that for 2020.
And that's what I liked about your goals. I'm sitting there listening to everything, and I'm like, this is so doable. That's awesome. I do believe in the dream big thing, but I'm with Tony Robbins when he says progress equals happiness. If you can keep yourself in this state of progress, making a little bit of progress on a daily basis, you stay in this flow of positivity. You go to sleep with like respect, self-respect. You literally, it fights depression. It fights low self-esteem. It fights all these things. It's like, no, look what I just did. It took me a couple weeks, took me a couple months, but look what I just did. Confidence comes from experience. You know what I mean? And so I love that you had very realistic goals that were very valuable goals. So that that's a good recipe in my opinion.
And let me just mention, how am I going to accomplish these goals? Because I have no weekends.
Oh man,
this is 7 days a week, 365.
This is a lifestyle. Yeah,
it's a lifestyle. I have no days off. This is going to be done 365, 7 days a week. That means when I'm off on my detail, I get home, I study. Study, and I don't go to sleep till 1 a.m. Yeah. I get up at 5, hit the gym, go to work, come home, study, do it all over. It's mind discipline, and it's a sacrifice for the greater good.
Yes, and that's what makes you do it. I mean, so then what would you say? What would you say to the person who's like, but Jesse, when do you like, how do you find happiness? And when do you have fun, or what makes you want to do this? It sounds hard. What would you say to that person who's listening? Like, golly, I don't know if I want to do that.
That's not a winning mindset.
Straight up with a straight face, straight stone face. That's what's up. Okay. I love that, man. That's not a winning mindset, because this is what it takes. And in the end, if you're willing to give what it takes, that's really the only question anyone's got to ask themselves. Am I willing to give what it takes to get this result? Mm-hmm. And if you're not, then you're not. The thing about life is it has a way of giving you the pain you need and trying to push you towards your betterment. You know what I'm saying? I fear for the people who are in a comfortable place and don't ever find the requirement to push towards it.
Right. Absolutely. Two words is what makes you successful. Time management.
Time management. Yeah, that's huge. That's God's currency. So you got to manage it. What would you say? Okay, closing questions. Your favorite quote, saying, mantra?
Oh, man. I think I am that I am. Descartes.
Yes. Okay. Descartes. I am that I am. That's what's up. It's so real. It's so grounding. It simply is, you know. You got to, and that's really the truth about all of us, man. And if you want to be more, learn how to do more, make higher quality decisions, and then you can be more, you know what I'm saying? And you are then that. That's what's up. How would you like to be remembered, Jesse?
Humble person.
As a humble person. That's beautiful, man. That's outstanding. Why? Sorry. Why though? Why is it so important to you?
Because I have a good heart.
Yeah. There we go. That's good, man. Humility is, man, it's so priceless. What habit would you say you'd want people to take a look at that makes them better protector, better person, and all of those things?
The mind.
Okay.
The mind. You control your mind, you could be good at anything, including being a protector. Because you control your mind, you could be good at anything.
Very true. Man, it's so true. It doesn't matter, you know, tall, short, skinny, jacked, black, yellow, pink, white, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
You can manage your mind, situation will follow. Life is not about managing things. So I'm here, man. That's good. All right, brother. Well, where are you? What are you up to these days? Where can we find you, Jesse?
Oh, man, you can find me on LinkedIn, you know, Jesse Jauregui Jr., and then you can find me on Facebook also, you know, and then on LinkedIn, Instagram also, you can find me on Instagram. You know, those are the only three basically social media platforms I have. I really got to keep limiting my social media because of Pinkerton, stuff like that. So I'm very limited to my social media. You know, basically that's where you can find me.
But I will say this too, man, from an outside standpoint, looking in at you digitally, you just started popping up everywhere. So
I did. Wow. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
For those of you who, and I talk about this in the training day course that I run, I'm teaching how to start showing up and leaving a larger and more valuable and impactful digital footprint, essentially organically marketing yourself so you can find these opportunities like you did through LinkedIn, and so that they will actually find you, positioning yourself as an executive protection specialist and having these opportunities come to you so you don't have to chase them. And one of the things I told my students, I'm like, yo, go follow Jesse, check out Jesse Yeager. Notice he pops up everywhere all the time and right things, being positive. I'm like, you guys need to pay attention to this because this is how you attract opportunity. Contribute thoughtfully. I'm giving everybody this one. Contribute thoughtfully and consistently, and to the digital social sphere world realm, and you will appear. You know, it's not that you want to appear bigger than you are, but you will attract the type of people who are looking for the type of person that you are. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They see those contributions over time that you're making to the digital executive protection world. You can't help but stand out. You'll be outperforming everyone else before you even have the job. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And that's the game.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Anyways, brother, I appreciate you. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for being my mentor too, Byron. Thank you for being my mentor. Thank you. I owe you a lot, man. Thank you.
Nothing. It's an honor to contribute, man. Just getting the feedback and knowing that this work is impactful means everything to me. So
thank you.
I appreciate it.
I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful. I always will be grateful to you, Byron. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jesse. Good to go, man. Well, I look forward to the next time our paths cross.
Thank you, brother.
You got it. Thanks for spending time. Out.
Yo, if you're a private security professional wanting to take your game to the next level, go to executiveprotectiontrainingday.com to check out my personal success package for private security professionals. Check it out, executiveprotectiontrainingday.com. And remember, y'all, hard skills do save lives, but soft skills get you paid. Boom. Boom. And to support this podcast, go to executiveprotectionlifestyle.com and contribute to our Patreon account. That Patreon account is what helps me make this podcast possible, contributing to this brand, what we're doing here, making it so that I can bring better guests on, making it so that we can plan more events and just expand the contribution to the private security industry, and also to making America a safer place. Do whatever you can, contribute whatever you can, because it makes all of these things possible. Thanks for those contributions. Yo, and before we go, I got to shout out to the sponsors, starting out with Primary Weapon Systems, PWS. They truly are the evolution of the rifle. Use Byron for 10% off. Grayman & Company, the most comfortable tactical suits in the game. Use Byron for 10% off with them. Ballistic Theory. You're going to start seeing a lot of stuff with me in Ballistic Theory because they got good ammo for good prices. Use Byron for my discount with those guys as well. Last but not least, Executive Protection Institute. Hey, go check them out and get your executive protection education on. Until the next podcast, this is Byron Rodgers, protector by nature and by trade. Out. Boom.